What's up guys, this is Richard again for another edition of Learning with Rich. So for today's topic, I'm going to teach you how to use drafting views in Revit structure. I already created some exercises of drafting views in Revit architecture and Revit MEP. So this time I'm going to teach you how to use it in Revit structure. So just a quick review from the View tab. So here you can see the drafting view. So according to the definition, it creates a view showing details that are not directly associated with the building model. So that means any changes that you made in your BIM model, in your 3D model, it will not affect your drafting view, and vice versa. If you modify your drafting view, it will not affect your BIM model. So you only use the drafting view to create detailing. Okay, so you use the drafting view to create an unassociated view specific details that are not part of the model design. Okay, so rather than create a call out and add details to it, you may want to create detail conditions where the model is not needed. So for example, a carpet transition detail which shows where carpet switches to tile, or let's say roof drain details not based on a call out on the roof. So for this purpose, you can create a drafting view. Alright, so in a drafting view, you create details at differing view scales and use the 2D detailing tools such as the detail lines, field region, detail components. Okay, if you're going to check out my videos, you'll be able to be familiarized with these tools. Anyway, I'm going to use these tools to create my drafting view. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create a drafting view for a typical thickened slab edge detail. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to start by selecting the drafting view. So I'm going to select that, and then I will name it. Okay, so let's say this is my typical thickened slab edge. Okay, so I will leave the scale to 1:10 and then I select OK. Okay, let me just move my properties here. Alright, and then you will notice from the project browser, the drafting view is already added here. Okay, so if I'm going to expand this, so this is now my drafting view and it's already open. And then if you try to select, let's say for example, the structure tab, you will notice that all the 3D modeling tools are disabled. Why? Because you are inside the drafting view. So drafting view is just a 2D environment. Okay? Alright, so next, I'm going to place a detail component representing the thickened slab edge. So to do that, I'm going to select the Annotate tab here. So from the Detail panel, I can select here the Component dropdown. And then I'm going to select the Detail component. So I select this. Okay, and then from the Type selector, I'm going to look for 150 mm. Okay, so M slab with optional hunch section 150 mm. So I'm going to go ahead, select this. And then I'm going to pick. Alright. And then after that, I'm going to move it something about 900. Alright. And then I select here modify. Okay, so the next thing that that I'm going to do is I'm going to modify my slab. So I'm going to select the slab, and from here I'm going to select the visibility here. Let me just adjust this first. Okay, so I'm going to clear the left hunch visibility. I'm going to uncheck this. Okay, so that it will look like this. Okay, and then for the type properties, for the hunch thickness, so for the hunch thickness, I select first edit type. Okay, then for the thickness, I'm going to change this to 375. And then I apply. Okay, so it's already changed. And then the hunch top. So instead of 450, I'm going to change this to 525. And then I apply. Apply. Okay. And then I select here OK. There you go. So it's already adjusted. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add filled regions representing the surrounding soil. Okay, filled region. So in AutoCAD, it's like hatch. Okay, so from the annotate tab, detail panel, you can see here filled region. Okay, so I go ahead, select the filled region, and then I'm going to create the boundary. Okay. Okay, so to draw the surrounding soil, so in my view window, so I'm going to click the lower edges of the slab here. Let me just add an offset distance of 300 mm. Let me just modify it. Create first the boundary. So I pick this. Okay, right. Okay, so I just pick the edges. And then after that, I select here modify. Okay. Okay, then after that, I'm going to offset this line. So I'm going to use this peak lines and then offset distance of 150. Okay, so 150. So as I move my pointer, so you can see the 150. You just need to press the tab once to highlight the connection of lines. Okay, I just press the tab once and then it will highlight the connection, and then I'm going to pick. Okay, right, and then I select here modify. So let me just adjust this to about 300. So 300. Alright, so I'll just adjust this also. Okay, and then after that, just like in AutoCAD, so whenever you create your hatch boundary, it should be close, no intersection or overlapping. So that's why I'm going to create a line there. Okay, so line here to close it. Okay, there you go. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change the line type representing the top of the grade. So in the view window, top of the grade of my cell. So I'm going to select the horizontal line. Okay, so I select this one and then I'm going to change this to wide lines. Wide lines. Okay, so there you go. See, it's a bit thicker now. Right? So the sketch lines looks the same and do not display according to their line style until the filled region is finished by selecting later on the check here. Okay, and then after that, to make the offset lines invisible, so like for example these lines here, so I'm going to select this, hold control, click this also, I click this, I click this one, and then I click this one. Okay, and then I'm going to change that to invisible. Okay, invisible line. Okay, and then I'm gonna make sure that earth is selected here as the filled region, and then I select check now to finish it. Alright, and then I just click outside. So there you go. Okay, now so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add detail lines and detail components to represent the reinforcement. Okay, so I'm going to add detail lines. So I'm going to select here the detail line. And then for the line style here, I'm going to select wide lines. Then just make sure that the chain here is checked. And then to draw the reinforcement dowel in the view window, I'm going to click the upper left corner of the slab here, and then I'm going to move my pointer first. I'm not going to pick anything, so I just move, and then I'm going to type 50, enter, that one. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to move my cursor to the right, and then I'm going to type 850. Okay, and then to create the vertical detail lines, I'm going to move the cursor below with a distance of 300, and then enter. There you go. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add a bend radius to the bent bar. Okay, so to do that, on the draw panel, so as you can see, there is a fillet arc here. So this is the fillet arc. So I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to add the radius here of, let's say, 25. Okay, so 25 mm, 25. All right, and then I'm going to pick this line, and then this line. There you go, and then modify. Okay, now to add the longitudinal bars, so I'm going to activate again my detail component. So this time, from the type here, I'm going to look for number 16. Okay, so M reinforcement bar in section, this one, so I'm going to select this. Okay, so this family is already preloaded in this project file. Okay, now, so I'm going to click the corner here, okay, of the wide lines to represent the bent bar to place the reinforcement bar. So this is my bent bar, and then I'm going to place the reinforcement bar. So let's say I'm going to place it here. Okay, all right, there you go. And then I'm going to place another one here below. There you go. And then I select modify. Okay, so note that this is a schematic detail, so the exact location of the reinforcement bar is not specified. However, the temporary dimension can be used to precisely position the reinforcement detail components. So meaning if I click the detail item, so you can modify the dimension here, okay, using the temporary dimension. So you just need to click that. Okay, oops. Oh, all right, so you just need to click that, and then you can change the value. So it's up to you, right? Now, so after that, I'm going to add detail lines and detail components to annotate the detail. Okay, so again, I'm going to select the detail component, and then from the type selector, so I'm going to look for the break line. So I just type break. Okay, so going to look for M break line. So I select this one. Okay, so this is the break line. So if I want this to be rotated by 90 degrees, I just need to press the space bar. See? So every time you press the space bar, it rotates 90 degrees. Alright, so I'm going to place it here. So I just place it here. There you go. And then I select here modify. Now, if it looks like this, so I'm going to select the break line, and then I'm going to flip this one. Okay. Space bar. Okay, so you just need to press the space bar to flip your break line. So I'll just click this one, and then I just move using the arrow on my keyboard. Okay, just like that. And then I can also adjust this. There you go. Okay, just make sure that the break line extend above the slab. So just adjust using the shape handle of the break line. And then after that, I'm going to add dimensions to detail components. So dimensions, I can select here aligned. Okay, so to add a dimension to specify the required depth below the grade, so I'm going to select the horizontal wide line here. I click this one, and then the bottom of the edge of the slab component. So I click this, and then I just place it here. Okay, there you go. And then I select modify. Now, let's say for example, I want to add an minimum here. Not but minimum MIN. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select the dimension, and then I click again. It will open the dimension text. Okay, so from here, I can add from the text fields the suffix. So I type MIN, and then I select here OK. There you go. Okay, so after that, I'm going to place the horizontal dimension to specify the width of the haunch. So again, I select the align dimension, and then I select this line here, and then this line here, and then I just place it here. Okay. Right. So after that, I select modify. So I'm gonna select again this one, and then select again to open up again the dimension text. But this time, I'm going to select here replace with text, and then I'm going to replace it by text here. So I'm gonna place here C plan, and then OK. There you go. Okay, so for the next one, I'm going to add a text here. So I select the text. Okay, so using the 2.5 mm Arial. Okay, so I'm going to add here 2 segments. So I pick that one. So I'm gonna pick somewhere here 1. Then I'm going to pick here 2, and then I pick here 3. Okay, then I'm going to type now the notes. Okay, so provide, let's say, dowels 2, and then I just press enter to match slab reinforcement, enter. Okay, so C plans for slab, enter, construction. Okay, and then I just click outside, right? Okay, now I'm going to activate again my text tool. So this time, I'm gonna select here the 2.5 mm aerial dot. So I select this. Okay, so note that the open dot leader text type, just like the other families in this project, is already preloaded in this exercise file. So it was created by duplicating an existing text type and assigning the open dot leader. Alright? Okay, so I'm now going to select this somewhere here. Alright. And then I'm going to create my text here. So I'll just adjust later. So I'll just create it first. Okay, so this is my continuous bar P and B. Okay, and then I just click outside. So let me just adjust this first. Okay, so every time you create a detailed view, just make your view tidy. Okay. Alright, so there you go. So this is now the drafting view of my typical T-can slab edge. So as you can see, this model will not affect if you change your beam model. Okay, so this is your beam model, right? your 3D model. So any changes that you made here, it will not affect your drafting view. Why? Because drafting view, it's just a 2D view. So we use the drafting view to create detailing. Okay, so rather than you create a call out or section and add details to it, so you can also use the drafting view to create detailed conditions where the model is not needed. Alright? Okay, so hopefully you learned something from this video. So if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, you can put it on the comment section below. And again, just like what I always do, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so you can also subscribe to my channel, like my video. Alright? Okay? So once again, my name is Rich, and until then, take care.